bringing news from a different page. Truth served hot and bold and strong. Every week we sing along. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Stories that make you think and pray. A light awaits at the end of day. Guided by the stars and stripes, through the stormiest of nights. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. When the world feels like a fight, hold your ground, stand for what's right. In the truth we'll find our way. Ed and Ronnie light the way. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Together we find unity.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie. And the show starts right now.
Good evening, everyone. Say hi, Ronnie.
Oh,
So it is a special night, as in not that it's anything special going on, but a special night that we couldn't get all the news in on Tuesday. So we thought we'd come and see you once again here on Red, White, and True.
absolutely.
How's your week been? How's your week been, bud?
Not too terribly bad. Not too terribly bad. I got no complaints. Went out to the woods yesterday. Overslept today. Going to the Children's Museum tomorrow. It'll be all right.
Yeah. Then back to the old grind on Monday, right?
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
no.
Back there Monday.
Well, we have got a little bit for you tonight. I don't know if we'll be long-winded. Sometimes you just never know. You know, sometimes I write a sermon and I think, well, it'll be kind of short, and doesn't end up being short, and whole congregation ends up mad at me because I got, into lunchtime a little bit. And no, my congregation.
I was going to say, a congregation get mad at you because you're a little short-winded. I don't think that's ever possible. Now, if you get a little long-winded, then yeah, I understand.
Well, it's been a good week. Your mom has had some days off, and we've enjoyed ourselves and had breakfast out at Old Union this morning. The guys out there got together. Missed a couple guys for illness reasons, and
Like me.
well, Yeah. Yours wasn't illness, but that's okay.
Mine was laziness.
Well,
I want to be fair right now.
we
Laziness.
we determined earlier that you must have needed the sleep. Must have needed the sleep.
I was a little bit.
And besides, who am I to judge? I took like a 3-hour nap this afternoon. So your mom said maybe 4.
Maybe 4.
So, well, let's look. It's not really meant as a blooper or anything, but this is kind of humorous.
I mean, people ask me like, oh, Florida, you guys are leading this. You just, how you do it? I was like, as governor of Florida, I get this great cheat code. All I got to do is look to New York, Illinois, California, and then do the opposite.
I saw that the other day. I loved it.
I titled it DeSantis Mic Drop because he just walks off the stage as soon as he says it. And, it's a shame that is really true. Whatever they do in those states, we conservative Christians are probably going to want to just do the opposite.
Yeah, pretty much. No arguments there.
What do you got to start with?
Well, I had this the other day and I didn't show it and I forgot that I had it and saved it. But this was this past week during the meetings at the White House.
Cool.
Short and brief, and you can barely hear it, but he pointed at the portrait fight, and said that was not a great day. So I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't realize there was a portrait there of that.
I think I read that they were putting one in, but I'd never seen it. I mean, it's no 8.5 by 11, that's for sure.
No, it's huge. It's huge. It's huge. I thought that was cool though. That was a cool painting. We can start off with a little sadness. I don't know if anybody has seen, but this past week in Florida, a illegal, undocumented truck driver tried to pull a U-turn on the interstate, and 3 innocent people lost their lives. And he ran the next day to California, and California actually extradited him. I got a pretty cool video on it. It shows the video of the van slamming into the side of the semi. So just to let you know.
So I think, as most people know, we had a terrible thing happen in St. Lucie County where you had an illegal alien who was driving this big tractor truck and decided to try to do a U-turn where they have the official use only. Those are little gaps in the highway for highway patrol and law enforcement, and it was obviously a total disaster to even try that. You had a car coming that ran into it, and 3 Floridians were killed. This was somebody that was issued that CDL actually in 2 different states, Washington State and in California, and should have never obviously been behind the wheel. Doesn't even speak English. If you want to drive, you got to know the road signs and stuff, and it's just the reality. So it was a really horrible thing. At the time, there was not any eyewitnesses. He didn't speak English, so they got all the facts they could. But then when they got the videotape, they saw. So immediately he fled to California, obviously sanctuary state. He was able to be detained in California. And so today I'm sending Florida's new Lieutenant Governor, Jay Collins, to California. And tomorrow morning he is going to take possession of this illegal alien, extradite him back to the state of Florida, and we're going to throw the book at him when he gets back here for what he did. So you can count on that.
Craziness.
Well, I've read about that several times, read about the fact that the lieutenant governor, who is brand new, he's a tough on crime kind of person. I mean, I'm going to say I think he's a veteran. I could be wrong on that, but I mean, basically DeSantis said, I'm sending him to go bring the prisoner back.
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen the video. That was
horrific. You haven't? Yeah. It was crazy. Just use that little turnaround that it's clearly labeled for law enforcement only, and for some reason decided to pull a Yui in the middle of the interstate.
Well, was that one of those double long, like a second trailer behind the main trailer?
I'm not
I mean,
sure.
It was really long.
Could you imagine driving along the interstate, though, minding your own business? There's a semi in front of you, and the next thing you know, I mean, by the time you were to see that and react, you were eating the guy's semi, this trailer. So,
I mean, you think about when you're driving down an interstate, and even when you're paying really close attention, you may not even pick up a light-colored semi-trailer. Obviously, they didn't, or else they would have stopped sooner because he was well into the turn. He wasn't just started. And I had a near collision years and years ago. Same type of situation. Person decided to stop dead still in the fast lane of 65 and then tried to slowly make the U-turn. And closest I ever come to having a wreck on an interstate. I slammed on the brake. There was actually one person between me and the car, and how I missed rear-ending the guy in front of us, I don't know, but it was crazy. And it would have been so much easier for him to go to the next exit.
Yeah, exactly.
And turned around. That's why they have those kind of safety rules in place, is just for reasons just like that. And then you multiply it by, first, he doesn't speak English
or read.
So, and so how in the world does he even qualify for a CDL or any kind of license for that matter? And he's an illegal. Illegals shouldn't have their driver's license. Well, most of them don't.
Yeah, they don't care.
They just drive.
Yeah.
But and people might say, well, this is a really good guy. Well, he's a really good guy who made so many mistakes you can't even hardly count them. He came in illegally. I don't know that.
The thing about him being a good guy or not really doesn't matter a hill of beans. I mean, he could be, the nicest guy in the world. Doesn't mean he didn't make poor choices. Come to a country illegally, get a job illegally, obtain a CDL somehow, not being able to read the road signs or anything like that, and causing a fatality. And, now 3 people are dead, because of the choices that guy made. So
I think your mom said his brother was in the truck.
Yeah. In the wider version that shows more, it's 2 males in the truck, and he's just pulling around the U, and he kind of looks and notices because his whole trailer was rocking, and 3 people in that van went underneath that trailer.
Yeah, that was ugly, I'm sure.
Yeah,
the first responders needed prayer in that one. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Not saying I've been in a situation like that, but I've been in situations similar, and it's
stuck with you all this time, hasn't it?
Oh yeah. That's something I'll never forget in my entire life. So, but so I had that. I just wanted to share. I've got another video of DeSantis, and I think all it is he's blaming sanctuary cities and all that, because he wasn't like Florida flew to California and picked him up. There was some arguing back and forth there. But,
just to add to that, I am shocked that California turned him over immediately.
Oh yeah, me too.
I thought for sure that would become a huge fight.
And that's probably why he left to California. He thought he was going to be safe.
Go ahead with something else.
Because Governor Newsom.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I don't know if I want to play that card that quickly. So we always have a segment about Do Better Texas, and it usually has something to do with Jasmine Crockett.
Yes.
Well, once before we've had a Texas Did Better, and we yet again have a Texas Did Better. It's really short, but it's funny.
She was one of my favorite people in the entire world.
Jasmine, the people of Dallas deserve better than a fake ghetto hood rat. Do they know you're a rich kid from Missouri?
a ghetto hood rat.
Yeah. Do they know you're a rich kid from Missouri?
I pulled that up earlier because I seen your title and wanted to. I knew I was going to laugh, and I loved it. But it's so true.
Yeah.
She's like Kamala. They change their demeanor for whatever crowd they're in front of.
I had a video earlier that I think we played before, but I wanted to play it again. It was how Kamala's accent changes depending on what crowd she was speaking to. You know, there was Jamaicans. It kind of had a little Jamaican accent. Then it was Mexicans, and she was talking about tacos. And yeah, she's just fake. Just fake.
I don't know that you have anything on it. I don't have anything on it, but she is going on a book tour, and the book is about her 107-day flop of a presidential campaign. I mean, that's not how she says it.
Yeah, of course not.
When she made the announcement and it started going on to social media, oh my goodness, conservative pundits just went nuts making fun. It's hilarious. Oh, you're going on tour to show how not to run a presidential campaign.
Exactly. I was just watching a couple videos with her in them earlier, and I was so thankful that America dodged that bullet. Like her cackling and her word salads and how fake she was. We were really close, but we dodged a bullet, and thank God we have a president that has, power and, knows how to run a country. And, we might not believe in everything he says or everything he does, but not everybody's perfect. But at least he's not Kamala. Plain and simple.
Well, here is an appropriate.
By the way, President Trump is the only leader in the world, acknowledged by all the Europeans, the only leader in the world that can talk to both of them and bring them both to a meeting is Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States. He's the only one. And the fact that he's willing to do it is something that every American, including Democrats, should be happy that we have a peace president. We should be proud that we have a president that's made peace a priority in his administration.
Now, do you think we would have heard anybody saying that if she would have won?
Absolutely not. No way.
First of all, that summit, either one with Putin or in D.C., neither one of those would have happened.
No. And within 48 hours, having all those European leaders come over here, she wouldn't have done that. Wouldn't have been able to.
Well, I don't think Putin would have agreed to sit with her.
No.
And then there's no way that she could have pulled off the 48-hour thing. I don't think she would have got him there if she planned it 3 months in advance. But probably a good time to right in there to talk about Russia a little bit. We'll get back to some more humor a little bit later. But we need to do something to Putin. We just do. Earlier this week, right after, I think on Tuesday, we talked about how he was attacking during the Zelensky-Trump European summit. But later in the week, in one of the largest overnight strikes since the war began, Russia unleashed some 614 drones, ballistic, and cruise missiles across Ukraine, killing one, injuring dozens, and destroying an American-owned electronics company less than an hour from two NATO borders, officials confirmed on Thursday morning. And, to me, that is just putting two middle fingers up to Donald Trump. They're in the midst of negotiating, and it's bad enough that he hit Ukraine, but then to, destroy an American business in Ukraine, you can't let that go.
No.
To me, that's an act of war. And so my suggestion would be that some pretty stiff sanctions in addition to what is already on. right now we're not in a position, not that we're not in a position that we couldn't, but we're not at the point of military intervention there.
Yeah.
But so I think that's off the table. But, basically he's getting by scot-free on that attack. And that's just not acceptable. And whether we're in negotiations or not in negotiations with them and Ukraine, them kind of acts just can't be ignored.
I wonder reasoning going well and all that. I don't understand what the reasoning behind that was. Why would he pull that?
Well, because he's an evil dictator.
I just
don't
get it.
Well, you don't get it because it makes no sense to do something like that when you're in the midst of what is supposed to be a serious negotiation to end a war.
Yeah.
You, when I say you, I mean all of us don't get it because that's not how you should act when you're trying to, you don't go and sit down with somebody and, make like everything's good and then less than a week later bomb an American business. I mean, that's not how our mental makeup is. And so, yeah.
And how cruel a person like that could be, it just doesn't make logical sense to me, I suppose.
And when I say he's a dictator, I know somebody might come back and say, well, he's a duly elected official. And we talked about that on Tuesday.
And how his duly electedness just continues to keep going on and on and on and on. And people who run against him conveniently end up dead.
Yes, exactly.
So. And
I've got one more I want to go. You get ready here and do 2 or 3 right after this, but
okay.
No video. But your mom just about passed out when I told her this took place. The Cincinnati Police Union slammed a criminal court case being brought against a victim in last month's viral beatdown. He was arrested for his role in the alleged violence. Authorities have not named the suspect, who police said was a victim in the attack and therefore is protected under Marsy's law, which prevents officials from releasing his identity. However, the victim's attorney confirmed to Fox News and gave his name. His lawyer revealed that his client was allegedly hit in the head 28 times and robbed during the attack while trying to protect his girlfriend and another friend while the group was out enjoying a night out. What this has done has made the victim of the beatdown a victim for a second time by bringing charges against him. There's pictures of him. His head and face was badly beaten. The police union is highly upset. They really want no part of that. Basically, it boiled down to the mayor of Cincinnati was pushing them to find somebody that they could charge that was white. The guy got hit 28 times in his head and got arrested for, I believe it was disorderly conduct.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what more I can comment on that.
Yeah. I mean, what can anybody say about that?
I mean, they've got all of these little phrases people use. He got arrested because he got beat up. Arrested while white and beaten up.
Yeah. That makes it right.
Yeah. And it's insane. Go ahead. What do you got?
Wow, speechless is what I got.
Yeah, no kidding.
Let's try and since we were talking about beating up and everything, here's some protesters that saw what they thought was an ICE raid and decided that they wanted to step in and help.
Liberals, I hope you take what just happened to a bunch of y'all in Minnesota as a warning. And if you guys are unaware of what happened, well, a large group of liberal protesters saw a bunch of federal agents show up, and they just decided we're not going to have this ICE bullshit around here anymore. So they pressed in on these agents, decided to throw shit and attack them. Now, little did they know, those federal agents, they weren't there to arrest illegal immigrants. No, they were there doing the other part of their job, which was raid that house for human and drug trafficking. Oh, and what was the result of the raid? Well, not only did they save 8 people from being human trafficked, but they also found 900 pounds of meth, almost half a ton of methamphetamines. And here's the best part. After they saved those people and after they captured those drugs, all the people that were attacking them were arrested. And they're not going to be charged with just having a violent protest. They're not going to be charged with just standing up for your right. No, they're going to be charged with trying to interfere with the rescue of human beings and the capture of 1,000 pounds of methamphetamines. Like, come on, liberals, just admit it's not about protecting the illegals. You just like attacking cops.
So right there, can you imagine? They thought these ICE agents were, there to capture illegals, and they attacked them. And well, FAFO, they all went to jail too. So they found out. Is that what it's getting to be nowadays?
Well, it is.
ICE agents can't even do their job legally, which is stopping human trafficking and 1,000 pounds of methamphetamines from hitting the street. Well,
that shows that people put their nose in things that they have no idea what they're involved in.
Yeah.
Of course, who knows? They might have still done it. Because to them, it's kind of like Orange Man bad, ICE agent bad. Yeah. And so, they could pull almost a ton of meth off the street and they're still ICE Man bad.
Yeah. It all boils down to Orange Man bad, and no matter what Donald Trump says or does is wrong. And this whole thing about them, Donald Trump protecting in DC and trying to bring down the crime rate and everything. I've got a video, you saw it earlier, where the guy was saying it's basically genocide because they're taking all these homeless people and I'll play that now.
What's your thoughts on everything?
Number one, this is an insult to all of the National Guard troops. All of our people in uniform that were brought here under false pretenses, and now they have to support this, what is going to be a genocide. This will be a genocide. They're going to take homeless people, and they're going to take brown people, and they're going to put them in camps. ICE is already expanding their beds by over 100,000 beds, including families. This is not prison.
You're calling this a genocide?
This will be a genocide. This and these people right now are participating in genocide. This is not hyperbole. I'm not trying to scare people. Okay? What is happening will be a genocide.
And what makes you think this will be a genocide? I don't see anybody dying.
Because this is the exact same playbook.
The genocide is an ethnic cleanse, right?
Yes. This is the exact same playbook that Nazi Germany used, the exact same playbook that the Italian fascists used in World War II. They all have smaller populations, vulnerable populations that they go after, that they scapegoat.
So this guy who got arrested, do you not want him to be arrested?
I don't give a shit why he was arrested. It shouldn't be this much of a fucking response. Look at that. That's not overkill. That's not scaring this community. This is more harm than good.
What's more harmful, that guy having a gun underneath the tree trunk illegally, or this?
These guys? Hold on. Well, number one, it's legal to carry a fucking gun. Okay? So don't give me the fucking bullshit. Oh, he had a gun. It's number one, are you for or against the Second Amendment? Okay? He had a gun. I don't give a shit. Okay? Why are they responding like this?
I'm going to stop that right there because he had a gun. Okay. I'm all for the Second Amendment. I appreciate the Second Amendment, and I exercise my right. However, I am also not a violent felon. I'm not illegal. I'm not doing anything wrong with it. It's there for my protection. Whereas this guy was robbing a liquor store. There's the difference.
Well, and you could tell, obviously, that the guy doing the talking was a liberal. Anybody that says ICE is in the midst of genocide. When was the last time you heard a liberal take up for the Second Amendment?
Right?
I mean, what is up? What was wrong with that? It's okay to have a gun, but genocide, concentration camps, Holocaust, Hitler, all those terms are convenient words that the left uses that they should be ashamed of themselves for, because those legitimate times in history, those have happened, has nothing to do with getting the crime off the streets in Washington, D.C.
No. You know, those types of tragedies that were in World War II, and which, by the way, semi props to this guy. I've never heard of the fascist Italian speech. That was the first time I've ever heard that from a liberal. But how dare you simplify what's going on now and lumping it into the same box as the atrocities that happened in World War II, where people actually died. Right now, all Donald Trump's doing is removing illegal immigrants who were felons, like they did in Seymour, this past week, removing them from the country and protecting innocent people. That's nothing compared to stacking people into gas chambers.
Sometimes subjects like that just take my breath away.
Yeah.
Because how can you argue or debate that kind of stupidity? I mean, that's just all that is.
And I like how it's pushed that fruitcake liberal back into full circle, where if it was a white guy sitting there who had a gun, he would be screaming about, we need to do something about gun control.
Sure.
But since it's somebody else, well, so what? He got a gun. What's the big deal? He had a gun.
Yeah, let's see you say that the next time and then fill in the blank, whatever it is that happens.
Yeah.
Well, and that's liberalism 101, what's good for you is not good for me, or whatever is good for me is not good for you. And,
And that's the same way, like when they take any kind of mass shooting or school shooting, they dig down deep as hard as they can. Well, it was a white guy and he was a Republican. Well, no, 99% of them are white guys and liberals. But then when that's kind of discovered, oh, well, it kind of goes by the wayside. Like,
well, yeah, just like that, he's out there as it's going on, saying things that as if they were 100% accurate. We know that story probably got added to, things taken away. He was high on the 1,000 pounds of meth that they took at the other place. And, so the old saying that says it's, and I can't remember phrased exactly, but it's better to something about being stupid than to open your mouth and prove it.
Oh yeah, that was a presidential quote, wasn't it? It's better to open your mouth and remove all doubt, or something. I don't remember.
Yeah,
it's a presidential quote. Remove all doubt, or something like that.
Well, I know you have some Cracker Barrel stuff.
Yes.
I have a great intro to that.
Things that people love about Cracker Barrel, the soul of Cracker Barrel is not changing. The rocking chairs are still there, the fireplace is there, the peg game, all the things that make Cracker Barrel, the vintage decor, it's still there and it's working. The results affirm that we're headed in the right direction.
Once again, Go Woke Go Broke has struck hard as bipartisan outrage over Cracker Barrel's rebranding and the design of their restaurants and logo has united the country. And yes, we will discuss it. Next in the special edition of Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie.
Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call, loudest of all. With hearts of faith. unity. Together we find unity.
Love it.
That
was great. We've got our own segment intros. And by the way, if nobody's noticed the background, thank you, Ed. I love it. It's amazing.
Thank you to our good friend Trevor. I know he doesn't like the props, but there's no way I'm going to take credit for that awesomeness.
Love it.
That is wonderful. And you as well. You came up with the idea of having a moving background, and Trevor took it and ran from there. And I just kind of played middleman and downloaded it and put it on here. And yeah, it looks really good. I'm interested to see how it'll look in the short clips that we put out.
Yeah.
Let's go straight into.
All right, let's do Cracker Barrel. So I'm gonna take us off the screen here because I've got a few pictures I want to show.
Hey, bud, they can't hear you. I think we're going to have to share it. I think we'll have to share it that way.
There we go. That works. So anyways, so this, I was going through the Cracker Barrel and Bud Light, walking hand in hand, going woke, going broke. So
yeah,
here's a new logo for him, Cracker Barrel. That's Hunter Biden. You know, maybe it'll pull some liberals in. Cackler Barrel, obviously Kamala Harris.
Oh, that's so good.
We could also do Cracker Barely There. That's obviously Joe Biden. And Lord forgive me, but they could also go with Travis Kelce's idea. Okay.
Whoop.
My apologies. We'll go back to the flag. Here's my video, and this is the CEO talking about their amazing rebranding idea.
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together and once every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So because the feedback and the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members. They want to work in a wonderful restaurant. So we're doing everything for our guests and our team members.
Well, Julie Messino, it's wonderful to have you here.
Pleasure to be
here.
Thank
you for answering those questions for all the Cracker Barrel fans out there. There's a lot of great changes.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Robin?
Can I get in writing that the peg game is going to stay?
The peg game is staying.
Okay.
So are the rocking chairs,
And
fireplace, vintage decor, it's all there.
All right. Okay, because that would be a deal breaker. That would be a deal breaker.
People are mad about this. People are very, very angry.
Well, it started with the decor.
Yes.
And I mean, Cracker Barrel Old Country Store used to be part of what it was. Old Country Store. And that's what they built their reputation on. I mean, that would be like White Castle saying they weren't going to serve sliders anymore.
Yeah, they're going to switch to health food.
Yeah. I mean, that is just stupid. You built a reputation over years and years and years, and then you're just going to change it.
Yeah. I'm not happy with it. I don't feel like sending them any more of my money. I mean, why change it? First off, the guy, the old man, Uncle Herschel, nobody says that he's a white guy or a black guy. It's a guy sitting in a rocking chair leaning over a barrel.
Yeah, who cares?
That's racist. Yeah.
Who cares what color he is?
Yeah, it's yellow. It doesn't say, well, this is actually a white guy, or look at that black guy. He's a yellow drawn figure. How is that racist? It makes no sense to me.
Well, and I don't think, here's the deal. Newsom, or as you mentioned, New Scum.
New Scum.
Yeah, I've been seeing that a lot lately. He agrees with. He said something about woke as if it was bad. I'm thinking the most woke governor in the entire country.
Yeah.
And he's making fun of Cracker Barrel. You know, the stars either are getting in alignment or are all out of whack, one of the two. I'm not
Something's
sure.
wrong, yeah, for sure.
Because, we got a liberal that's saying it's okay to have a gun in Washington, D.C., and now we got a liberal that's saying woke is bad. And but it's interesting that both of the things that we've showed their stock trader, graph. And then all of a sudden it's up here. And the next thing you know, like overnight, I read where they've lost $100 billion or 100 million, I think, $100 million of value. Their stock dropping was $100 million worth of.
What I don't understand is how this CEO can look and see the situation that Bud Light and Target and everybody else went through. Oh, well, this DEI and we need to go woke and all this, and see how their stocks tanked, their ridicule went up, people quit buying their product, and thought, you know what, let's do that here. Let's do that here. Well, it makes no sense.
Well, with Bud Light, you knew what the issue was. With Target, you know what the issue that conservatives have with that. I don't even know what the issue is here. I mean, I don't even really get what they're trying to accomplish.
I don't either.
Bud Light was promoting a transgender. So there, what it is. I don't know what they're trying to do.
I mean,
but
I saw the outside of that Waffle House, and it looks very bland and generic. But I mean, they've done that to McDonald's, they've done that to Taco Bell, but McDonald's didn't get rid of the Big Mac. Taco Bell didn't get rid of the taco. Why would this get rid of their exact branding? Makes no sense to me.
Well, the one picture that you're referencing didn't show any rocking chairs.
Mm-mm.
You could see through the windows, but you couldn't really see inside. But it didn't look like a place where there would be a fireplace and chairs inside for, lounging. And and you know what? I had a person say, I don't understand all the hubbub over a restaurant.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So, well, I just got a note, and let me read what it says here. Kind of explaining part of the woke mentality. It'll take me just a second. So do you like Cracker Barrel, Ronnie?
Oh, I love Cracker Barrel. I absolutely love it. Yeah, one of my favorite restaurants.
Most people that know me know that I'm a chicken and noodles or chicken and dumplings fan. My favorite food is anything in noodles, basically.
Right.
Chicken, beef, turkey, noodles and noodles.
Yeah.
And
I'm just a major fan of the spiced apples and hash brown casserole and fried okra. I mean, bam, I'm there. I don't know. I'm not seeing any new images of what's going inside. I mean, from the ones I've seen on Facebook, it looks very bland. It doesn't have the. Yeah, it's got gray. It doesn't have like the historical stuff on the walls. But one guy was saying, if you can't go to Cracker Barrel and sit in front of a roaring fire and play a peg game with your cousin while you're sitting underneath tons of rusty farm equipment from 100 years ago, then what's the point?
Well, the note that I just got sent says the company's getting money from liberal groups, including BlackRock. They are supporting pride events now. And so there is an agenda that is behind what they're doing.
Well, and I really hope that it's enough to offset the millions of pissed off rednecks they've got.
Yeah, I just don't understand when people, businesses, individuals are just willing to. That $100 million was practically overnight, and I mean that's unfathomable.
There we go. That's one of the pictures I found of the inside. Now, it's still got stuff on the walls, obviously, but you know.
Well, that doesn't look like that looks like Cracker Barrel on the opposite of steroids. Whatever the exact opposite of steroids would be is what that looks like. And that doesn't look horrible. I mean, it looks inviting, but it doesn't look like Cracker Barrel.
No. Cracker Barrel is like one of those things where it's a niche place that you kind of go to for an experience. You know, you go to McDonald's, you go to Burger King, you go to White Castle, they're all pretty much the same. But when you go to Cracker Barrel, you know, you walk through the country store, you hear the old-timey music, you go in, you sit down, you get food that you're not really going to get anywhere else. I mean, where else has got hash brown casserole, you know, or spiced apples on their menu like that? So it to me, it's like taking away part of that experience. You know, you look there and you see an old portrait of grandma and grandpa, and you wonder their story. You know, where do these people come from? Where do they live? And I'm not a fan of taking it away, but I don't really also agree with the go woke agenda. Apparently, I read something about that when they first, this organization, I can't remember the name of it, but they first came out and they rank businesses on their DEI, their diversity, equity, inclusion crap. And when they first came out in 2021, Cracker Barrel was given a 0. And I want to say within the first couple of years after that, they bumped it up to like 80 out of 100, their score. And a lot of it had to do when they were selling Duck Dynasty's products in the Old Country store. Phil Robertson had said something about against homosexuals, and they actually pulled the Duck Dynasty products from their Old Country store. And so, I mean, if they want to focus on that demographic is who they want to sell things to, great. But I can't see a truck driver pulling over, you know, off the highway for breakfast and stopping at this new DEI location.
So apparently the last remaining family member of the founding family for Cracker Barrel passed away. And so family's gone, and now we can go woke, which they're a little late to the game on that. They should have done that 5 years ago.
Yeah.
If that's what they wanted to do, but I guess they had to wait till somebody died. You got anything else on Cracker Barrel anymore?
Well, the only thing I did, and I've had, everybody knows that I worked for Waffle House earlier this year.
You actually said Waffle House instead of Cracker Barrel earlier.
Did I really?
In one of the.
Yeah. Oh, my head's hurting worse than I thought, but I can't get it to pull up. But anyway, so Waffle House would change their logo, and it's got like two proper British gentlemen, and it says Queensberry rules underneath at Waffle House, but they're like, you know, with their hands thrown up. So that's Waffle House's new logo is two British gentlemen fighting.
Well,
unfortunately, this is a tendency that's not going to go away, and I see other companies doing this. And
well, they call it, I guess, the Starbucks look now, and if it says Starbucks, woke definitely goes along with that. But did you see that Steak and Shake, their social media account, has been making fun of Cracker Barrel? They're like trying to capitalize on the conservative side of it, because if you remember, Steak and Shake changed the grease that they do their French fries in to something that RFK supports. They made a huge change, and that's gone over amazingly good. Your brother told us that the fry sales went nuts. You know,
I'm sure. Yeah, they switched to using beef tallow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so let me look here real quick.
I've actually got it. Here's what Steak and Shake said about Cracker Barrel. Sometimes people want to change things just to put their own personality on things. Steak and Shake posted on X on Thursday along with an image of the old Cracker Barrel logo. At Cracker Barrel, their goal is just to delete their personality altogether, hence the elimination of the old timer from the signage. Heritage is what got Cracker Barrel this far, and now the CEO just wants to scrape it all away. At Steak and Shake, we take pride in our history, our families, and American values. All are welcome. We will never market ourselves away from our past in a cheap effort to gain the approval of trend seekers. Mic drop.
Yes, mic drop and walk away. And I think about just in restaurants around here, Steak and Shake is one of them. You go in and they got pictures of the past stores and things on the wall. If you go to KFC, you see things about the, Colonel Sanders and different things all over their wall. If you go out to Freddy's, that is out west of town here in Columbus, they've got things about their history all over the wall, the founder. You go to Culver's, they've got things about the history there and proud of coming from Wisconsin and all. So, yeah, why somebody would basically just drop their history when it wasn't. Maybe you can tell me. I don't think you can, but maybe you can tell me what was bad about the Cracker Barrel history.
I have no idea. I don't get it. And then for all of a sudden, just randomly, we're gonna do it now. Makes absolutely no sense to me.
It's just like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Cracker Barrel ain't Cracker Barrel no more.
Yeah, they took the cracker out of the barrel.
Well,
I always liked what we used to call it, and then this one obviously was racist, but we called it Honky Bucket instead of Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, see, that's what came to my mind. Cracker is a derogatory term for white people.
Mm-hmm.
So why would somebody going woke get upset about the name Cracker Barrel?
I've been a cracker for almost 41 years. Well, I'm 41 now, and I guess okay, so I've been a cracker for 41 years. I wasn't offended by it. I didn't find that racist at all. When I heard it, I don't think of white person barrel.
No,
not derogatory white person. And it's what it's called. It's like, why is White Castle called White Castle? Was I offended because it's White Castle and not Black Castle, or the Castle of White, as Mom is laughing in the background?
Yeah, I know. You knew that was coming.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and just think about this. We just took like a 15-minute segment on Cracker Barrel.
Yeah,
and they wouldn't want to compensate us for our promotion of their company either. But I'm
just
like,
don't change the menu. Don't come after a fat guy's food. Then we're going to have issues.
Yeah. Amen. Wanted to segue into a wonderful human being passed away this week. And I've got an actual introduction to this segment as well.
Next, Pastor Ed Boston shares reflections on the life and legacy of Dr. James Dobson.
To chat with you for a few minutes on behalf of our audience and focus on the family. Our people care deeply about the family, and I know that you do too.
Yes.
That's been an integral part of your administration. We've appreciated that. And in fact, I really would like to ask you some questions about that relative to government and the family.
You've been a friend of presidents. President Reagan, President H.W. Bush, President George W. Bush. What's it like to walk for the first time into the Oval Office?
It's awe-inspiring because you just think of Lincoln and Roosevelt and all the people who lived and worked in that place. And it's dangerous, too, because your eyes spin. It was Chuck Colson who said that the lions of the waiting room become the lambs of the Oval Office.
Yeah.
Once you get in the presence of power,
Yes.
and you have to be aware that that's happening to you, because you can be corrupted very easily. Thankfully, the people I was working with were not there to do that.
Right.
Ronald Reagan was a great man. I mean, he was a great man.
Dr. James Dobson founded the Focus on the Family ministry. He was well respected. He was a psychologist by training, and in 77 is when he founded Focus on the Family. And you think about it, in 77, the family structure had maybe started going down the tubes a little bit, but it's nothing like it is today. I mean, when you think about 77, your mom and I were in high school, or your mom was in still middle school or junior high, as we called it. But you know, most of the people we knew, our friends had both mother and father in the house, and you know, the family hadn't gone downhill. So he kind of launched that before his time, and he was 89 years old. He had radio broadcasts, and there's still Focus on the Family broadcast on over 4,000 stations and in many languages, 70 plus books he wrote. He shaped Christian homes for all of those decades. Greg Laurie mentioned there that he advised 5 different presidents, both Bushes, Reagan, Clinton, and Trump were all people that he counseled and were close with. Every once in a while, there would be groups that didn't like some of his views. He was criticized for his views on spanking, the LGBTQ issue, some of those political things that he got involved in. There was some controversy, but he is known as a family planner, as in family is important planner, the whole family. He authored the book Dare to Disciple, or Dare to Discipline. I'm sorry, Dare to Discipline. And boy, it probably ought to be mandatory reading at this point for anybody that's a parent to have to read Dare to Discipline, because everybody with half a brain knows that discipline has gone by the wayside.
Absolutely.
And so thank you, Dr. Dobson, for being a revolutionary in the topic of family.
Much respect.
Much respect. Why don't you hit one up here, bub?
Well, I don't have anything else. I've covered everything I had.
Well, I've still got
well, I do have one thing. I did get this from the White House today. I thought that was
got a
pretty
couple.
neat.
It is pretty neat, and that's something like a drum line kind of thing. Was that part of the Ronnie drawl to that? It had a good beat in it.
Maybe.
I'm getting to know you pretty well.
Yeah. It's not that hard. Drums, guns, God, I'm there, whatever.
Well, I've got a couple clips that I really had for Tuesday, and we just didn't get around to them, about the church and maybe how the church can do things a little bit better.
This is not going to be popular, and it's going to sound like that I'm leaning to one side when I'm really not. I'm just going to use this story as an example of the hypocrisy that is being shown by some Christians. I had a guy get up recently at a comedy show. He walked out and huffed, caused a scene because I said the word Democrat. He later emailed me and said that he was going to go to his church and have them vote to declare what I said as hate speech, and that I would never be able to come back to his church. That's fine. And he just represents a group of people that want to call me out saying that I'm not showing the love of Christ. I'm tearing down the church. How could I stand and talk hate toward one particular party? But then you start scrolling on their Facebook feeds. You see them celebrating the fact that a U.S. president was shot. And then they post comments like, man, I wish the shooter hadn't have missed. Now, these are the same individuals that are saying, I'm not being Christ-like.
Now, Mickey Bell is he's a former pastor that is now a Christian comedian. Actually, he's right in the midst of filming. He's got a minor part in a film that's going to be coming out soon. And I know what it's about, and I can't think of it right now. But, he's actually not playing a comedian in the film. He's playing more of a serious role. But, well, let's go ahead and listen to what Charlie Kirk says about the church.
Charlie Kirk just called out the church, and he's not wrong. Watch this.
Donald Trump's not as pro-life as me. I say, well, has your pastor spoke out regularly against the slaughter of the unborn? Well, no, my pastor doesn't do politics. Oh, so you want Donald Trump to speak out on holy matters when the person you tithe and offer to, that you call your home church, won't even whisper about it. Got it. Church is a place where you go to be saved and corrected. It is not a place to be told about how your lifestyle is the greatest thing ever. You go there to be reminded that you need a savior and that your life is currently in error. But people don't like that. They say, well, that's not very nice. Well, hold on a second. What exactly are you running here? Is it a church, which is about correction and elevating the divine? Or is it a place where a TED Talk occurs with organized parking, above average coffee, and a motivational speech, and good music with nice lights? What exactly are you running there? You see, a church, in its proper context, should be unafraid to go against the culture and not conform to the world, but...
That's what I've always said. Church should be a hospital for sinners, not a museum for saints.
Well, and boy, could that be any more scriptural? And he could have been introducing my sermon for tomorrow.
Is it a good one?
Well, I pray that it is. It's titled "Shining the Light in a Dark World," and that's kind of where I'm going to be going tomorrow. Not intentionally because of him, but it just fits right in with what I got planned. The church has to mean something. If what the church means is to be a social club, then they ought to lose their 501c3 and just become a social club.
Pretty much.
And, we could have the debate on whether churches ought to have 501c3s and is there, what's it?
Carnage Park.
Carnage Park.
That's the movie.
Oh. Your mom looked up the movie that Mickey Bell's going to be in. It's called Carnage Park. And it's got two well-known Christian actors that are going to be part of that movie. But like I was saying, you could go any direction on whether or not churches should be 501c3. You know, some people say that that gives the government too much control over church, and then others say that churches shouldn't get tax breaks and yada yada yada. But the church needs to stand for something, and what we need to stand on is the scriptures. You know, we need to show the love of Christ, and the people that Mickey Bell were talking about.
That's not true either. That was not the right name.
Wrong name for the movie?
Sorry.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. Your mom made her one mistake for 2025. She's got, 4 more months to go with no mistakes now.
I don't know, because she made a mistake yesterday. You should have seen that plate of food she piled on for me, thinking I'd eat all that.
That was a mistake. Yeah.
So the church, my call to you is to stand for something, and what you stand for, because you are a Christian, you stand for Jesus Christ.
I totally agree. Like I said right after that video, the church should be a hospital for sinners, not a museum for saints. And there's been several churches I've been to where it's, oh, well, look at how good he did, and look at what this group's doing, and look at these people and how much I'm so tired of that. I'm so tired of that. I don't want to hear about other people. I don't want to see their, applause and all that crap. I want to hear that hell is still hot, sin is still bad, and heaven's the place to go. But we don't hear that anymore.
Boy, you
preach.
And that's where my sermons have been the last 2 weeks, about hell is real. And the good news is you don't have to go there.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
literally.
I've actually got 2 or 3 more videos. This is a good place to close it out. Very, very short outro. You'll recognize it. Ronnie will smile real big, but
you figure out what's beeping. Oh, the bread maker. Okay.
Let's see. Well, let's just say goodnight. Say goodnight, Ronnie.
Well, good night, everybody. Thank you for being here with this special episode of Red, White, and True. Yeah, well, we should have called it the special episode of Cracker Barrel CEO is Insane.
It works. Even the hosts of Good Morning America was basically calling her out.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. All right, so
thank you for being here. Either way,
back to regular time on Tuesday, unless something comes up before then. Who knows in the future, if we need to go to 2 times a week, we might do that. Prayer and Share will be starting back up in September. We've actually had some folks that ask about Prayer and Share and where it is, and is it coming back? And the answer to that is yes, it's coming back. Revamped a little bit more about prayer than share, but it'll continue with the share part of basically topics that we need to be praying about. Things like massacre of Christians in Rwanda. And I just say that one because it come off the top of my head. There's plenty of things right here in our own neighborhoods that need prayer. And so that's kind of how we're going to focus that in the future. Yeah. When neighborhoods in small towns, cities like Columbus are going to pot, then you got to know that the big cities are in a mess. I'm anxious to see if Trump takes the DC model and puts that in other places in the country.
Chicago's next. Chicago's next.
Should be. So until Tuesday or sooner, thank you for being with us. We love what we're doing. Go to our social medias, go to edandronnie.com and help us out on our social medias. Anything you see, like it, follow it, whatever it is, share it, because our presence is growing. I actually had up and didn't get around to it. Some responses that we had on TikTok. You know, the trolls are starting to hate us even more.
Love it. Love it.
So
Bring it
until
on.
we see you on Tuesday, go out and do the right thing.